The Central Asian Report is a program about the ongoing geopolitical trends and the panorama of the present-day realities in Central Asia.
Politics, economics and culture, events, trends and people. All this on one territory. Hello, you're watching the Central Asian Report in today's program. Financial roads lead to Almaty. The energy sector of Kyrgyzstan amidst winds of change. When form is key, or how Tajikistan's agricultural industry is planning on entering new markets. And the closing stories at Kaleidoscope, women representing the majority of labor migrants, and Back to the Future, bicycle rickshaws more than an exotic means of transport. Last year, Almaty's rating in the Global Financial Centers Index spiked from 59th place to 43rd, pushing Kazakhstan's cultural capital ahead of Rome, Brussels, Oslo, Madrid, Milan and Moscow. What is being done in Almaty in order to fulfill such expectations? Today, the global center of trade and production is shifting towards Asia, or more specifically China. The southern city of Kazakhstan also falls within the radius of this shift. The geographic location of Almaty, right in the center of the Central Asian region, is described as the Silk Road. It joins China, Europe and Russia. Two transport and logistics projects of strategic importance for the entire Central Asia are being realized on the territory of the Almaty region. This is the construction of the dry port Kyrgyz Eastern Gates and one of the sections of the transnational transport corridor, Western Europe, Western China. Amidst new geoeconomic conditions, all the centrifugal forces of the banking sector will be directed towards the city located right at the transport intersection of the region.
I see the opportunities and the possibilities. From what I know about the management of Almaty and Kazakhstan, it seems to be, they all seem to be doing the right things.
Almaty is already showing itself in the role of a financial center. 80% of Kazakhstani banks are located in the southern city. Representative offices of the largest world institutions are located there as well. Almaty was the first city in Central Asia to put into use instruments of Islamic banking. And finally, the most important factor.
Open borders and open currency and open movement of capital is the most important thing. And from that, the market will take care of itself.
Almaty is already developing in this direction. 50% of all trade activity, 25% of tax revenue, and 20% of country's GDP. This is the contribution of the city. A lot of large export-oriented enterprises are based here. Small and medium businesses are developing actively, and the number of enterprises with participation of foreign capital is growing. Every place tries to attract good people, and people choose to settle in places that they like. I hope that Almaty becomes one of these places where people would like to live, invest into, and conduct business activities. Great changes await the energy sector of Kyrgyzstan. This is connected with the integration of the country into the Eurasian Economic Union. What is the potential of the energy complex of the Central Asian state? What is holding back its development today, and what lies ahead? All the details in our report from Bishkek.
Все подробности в сюжете из Бишкека.
Currently, the energy sector of Kyrgyzstan is forced to operate in a limited format. The main share of produced energy is used for satisfying the domestic demand. A small share is exported into the southern regions of neighboring Kazakhstan. Yet the potential of the energy sector of the country is quite high. Other countries are interested in energy supplies, but technically this is still a cumbersome task. However, with the integration of Kyrgyzstan into the Eurasian Economic Union, changes await the country's energy sector. More capital will be available in order to upgrade the worn-out equipment, improve the operational reliability of hydroelectric stations and transmission lines. And the most important aspect is that the energy produced in the country will become part of the common energy system of the Eurasian Economic Union. The industrial sector of the new union is so huge that Kyrgyzstan's energy capacities will be in great demand, especially taking into account the cost factor. The overall energy market and capacities of the countries of the Eurasian Economic Union, the prices of the energy produced in Kyrgyzstan will be lower than of other countries. The thing is that 90% of the energy capacities of Kyrgyzstan are produced at hydroelectric stations. The cost of this type of energy is much lower than of energy produced at the thermal power stations of the member countries of the Union. However, this is concerning future prospects because for now the country's energy sector is in the midst of a crisis. Modernization of energy generating capacities, power supply systems, and distribution stations has not taken place since the times of the Soviet Union. As a result, in the winter time, large operational losses occur, as well as annual power outages across the country. Another important factor contributing to the situation is that Kyrgyzstan does not have an effective system of energy substitution in the case of emergency situations. Generating capacities are not high enough in order to cover the occurring energy deficit. Once Kyrgyzstan becomes part of a single energy supply system of the Eurasian Economic Union, there should be less of these operational problems. Once the system is sufficiently developed and big enough, then the capacities of power flows allow to react less in such situations, and the operational reliability of energy supply is higher. The single energy system of the Eurasian Economic Union will be established in 2019. By that time, there are plans to establish a common energy market and develop a single tariff system. Active development of the conceptual design of the system is currently underway. Kyrgyzstan is in anticipation that the Eurasian Economic Union will give the energy sector of the country a second wind, and to be more precise, will give a new impulse. Since we're talking about energy, this situation resembles the case of a patient whose revival requires a powerful energy shot. Tajikistan has begun the process of implementing the GSP system. This novelty will allow the country's producers of agricultural products to enter Eurasian markets under conditions of a lowered or zero tariff rate. But there is a weak link in this: absence of a corresponding system of packaging of goods. How is this problem being addressed in Tajikistan? Our correspondent has the details. Agricultural production volumes in Tajikistan grow annually by 7.5%, processing capacities by 5%. The development dynamic is quite promising and products are distinguished by their high quality. However, export growth rates are much lower. The impeding factor is the lack of modern packaging methods. The situation began to change with the appearance of a new enterprise that produces polyethylene bags and flexible containers. The enterprise was established in the Sugd region of Tajikistan 2 years ago. Its production capacities today reach 15 million units per month. These packaging materials are delivered to a number of regions of the country. Now, agricultural enterprises of Tajikistan, whose products are export-oriented, can confidently plan their export volumes. Our shipment periods are very short. Consequently, any unforeseen circumstances can be handled by our producers calmly, right on the spot, without wasting time. This new company is a joint Kazakhstani-Tajik enterprise. The terms of cooperation between the partners are quite simple and clearly spelled out. We are transferring technologies, know-how in the sphere of production of polyethylene packaging to our partners, supply them with equipment and raw materials. The Tajik side is responsible for the administrative resources and control of production processes at the plant. Interests of the Tajik side are also tied to the opportunity of creating new workplaces, supplementing the country's budget, and realizing social projects. Kazakhstani investors are seeing prospects in the expansion of the consumer market and optimization of operational and economic processes. For quite some time already, Tajikistan has been engaged in negotiations on accession to the customs union, and this would open up a huge consumer market of the countries of Russia, Belarus and Kazakhstan. We will have a competitive advantage due to the fact that the business climate of Tajikistan at the moment is one of the most attractive. Today, the group of investors is considering the issue of establishing 4 trade distribution centers in Tajikistan for the realization of agricultural products. The anticipated result of this project will be an increase in the export volumes of food products. This means that the joint enterprise that produces packaging materials will have new prospects for growth. Our lives are full of the most diverse, nuanced and colorful moments, including the ones that are unexpected. But at times it is precisely these moments that render our life paths more familiar and memorable. Our closing story is on the Central Asian kaleidoscope. An unusual project has been launched in the city of Almaty. Bicycle rickshaws have begun cruising the city streets. One of the authors of this project is Sabit Sadiev. In 2014, I and my partner were contemplating about a project that would be new and unexpected. The residents of our city are quite spoiled, and we wanted to create something original and unusual. The bicycle rickshaw parts were imported from Japan and South Korea, and assembly was done in Almaty. Today there are 10 bike taxis in this rickshaw park. By the end of the year, their number is expected to increase 5-fold. Bicycle taxis can reach the speed of 20 kilometers per hour. Their maneuvering is quite simple, even along the steep Almaty streets, because they have an 8-speed mechanism and an electric motor. We've decided to use Japanese speed switching systems and storage battery motors, which are charged overnight, and during the day they can be used for 6 to 7 hours non-stop. The route covers all the popular sites of the city, parks and squares. It should be admitted that the city is not quite ready for the implementation of this new mode of transport. However, this project has everything it needs. It is original, cost-efficient, and more importantly, environmentally friendly. For such a large city as Almaty, considering its traffic load, landscape specificities, because of which the wind flow through the city is impeded, the bicycle rickshaw project is quite promising. It would be nice if we would have the infrastructure that includes bike lanes, if the quality of the roads was better, so that, for example, curbs would be lowered in order to allow movement from the bike lane onto the road and street lanes. Organizers of the project are hoping that Kazakhstan's guides on road traffic regulation will have a section for this means of transport as well. By the way, the young enthusiasts have made sure to take care of the safety and comfort of the passengers. The rickshaws are equipped with comfy seats, seat belts, wireless internet, and a music player. Hence, the number of those wanting to go for a ride on this original means of transport will be great. Today, among the labor migrants, there are 80,000 women from Tajikistan. Experts are citing a number of factors which are forcing women to seek job opportunities abroad and settle for tough labor conditions. In order to preserve the family, stay together with their husband and children, women go abroad. Another case is when families are left without the male breadwinner, and women do this in order to feed the family and provide them with the basics. A third case is when there is a desire to change their life, go abroad to try to achieve something that they would not be able to do in their own country. For labor migrants who are educated and have business communication skills, it is much easier to integrate into a new environment. Among Tajik women, their share is only 10%. That is why within the framework of Tajikistan's state program, projects aimed at improving women's professional and business skills were developed. Women are taught skills for a profession that is demanded on the labor market. There is an amount of money allotted to the development of a small and medium business in the form of a microcredit loan. At the same time, they are taught how to manage a business project. Also, currently a project is being realized in Tajikistan on the development of the domestic labor market. At least 200,000 workplaces are planned to be created this year. Special attention will be dedicated to the employment of women. Thanks to the new social policy, up to 10,000 women will be able to return home by the end of this year. You are watching the Central Asian Report. Until next time on Kazakh TV.